Hey everybody, Amy Walker here. Welcome back to the channel. I'm here today with Stu Heinecke, who is one of my marketing gurus that I love to follow. He is the author of How to Get a Meeting with Anyone, and he is the first person that I ever heard coin the term contact marketing. I know people have been doing this for a while, but he really is the go-to person in contact marketing. And so we're going to share with you today one of the most effective and yet one of the most cost-effective and time-effective marketing strategies that I know of. So Stu, we're so excited to have you on with us today. Thanks for being here.
Oh man, my pleasure. I'm so glad to be here with you.
Yeah, so we're going to, for those of you who don't know what contact marketing is, this is the first video in a three-part series. So in this one, we're going to share with you what contact marketing is and how it can just create massive return on your investment for your marketing dollars. So Stu, let's go ahead and tell them a little bit about this. And you're the guru, so I'm gonna let you take it and I'll just add in some of my insights as we go.
Great, that sounds great. Well, contact marketing it's these micro-focused campaigns. We've seen them. I think many of us have seen these things. But these micro-focused campaigns that go to just a handful of people. But it could be just one person. It could be a campaign of one. They're really, really, you can't get more micro-focused than that. But the point is, there are people out there who, if we were able to get them, well, first of all, get a meeting with them, but get them as clients or as strategic partners, or as perhaps mentors. There are lots of ways we can engage with people, but particularly in sales, we want to get those big accounts, those ones that can change the scale of everything. Right. So there are not a lot of those. And so I guess the good news though about that is that means we can focus a lot of attention on the ones that we know of. Mm-hmm. And that results in some really crazy, wild, audacious kinds of campaigns. And, you know, you introduced me, and that was a wonderful introduction. One thing that I would add, though, is in addition to being a marketer, I'm also a cartoonist. I'm one of the Wall Street Journal cartoonists, and so I've been melding the two during my whole career. And I've found that when I send someone a cartoon about themselves, that it's just magic. I've reached people I should never be able to reach. Right. And so that's what contact marketing is about. It's about sending something or doing something, involving someone in something that causes, I think, the goal is to cause them to say, oh my God, I love the way this person thinks. We got to meet.
Right. Well, it's the wow factor. And, you know, I do a lot of marketing, and I work with clients on strategic lead generation. But here's what I love about mixing both of these worlds, because strategic lead generation, you bring in a lot of leads, and then you have to sift through all of your leads to find out who's interested, who's a fit, who's not a fit. And in contact marketing, you're really doing the exact opposite. So you're already finding from the get-go, who do you want? And then just being really strategic about reaching out to a small group of people. And these campaigns are impressive. So I got one from you recently. And
you did, that's right.
I looked at it and I was like, okay, this is amazing, because I'm a huge fan of the book. In fact, it's the #1 book that I recommend to clients.
Thank you.
It's my favorite book. So I recommend it all the time. And I got it and I was like, oh, this is seeing it in practice, you know, like you practice what you preach. And so I actually have it here. So it came in like a custom designed box. And then I opened it up, and inside there was a custom card that came with my logo on the back. And then there was this right here, and I played it, and there was a video from you on here. It's been a couple weeks, so I don't know if it's still charged. I think it's lost its charge. But you know, like, that was impressive to get a personalized video from you and a personalized card. Like, there was no way that I wasn't going to talk to you, you know, like I didn't know I didn't know all the details. I didn't know if I was going to say yes, but I was going to say yes to having a conversation. And that's what I love about this, this concept is like, let's just get to the conversation as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I think, you know, you can, there's some certain things you can say, particularly about yourself, and other things you better show instead of say, other things other people should say. Like I shouldn't be saying, hey, How to Get a Meeting with Anyone is my favorite book.
Right.
I
But
mean,
I can
you
say
don't
it.
go around doing it. You can do it. I can't do that.
Yeah.
But you really want to get this reaction from people. So they're just thrilled to meet with you. In fact, I have a video I'd love to share with you because it just shows the thing I'm so excited about with this video is this was shot by I was reaching out to someone and his assistant said, oh my God, I love this thing so much. I'm going to film my reaction as I open it. And her reaction is priceless. And I never am there to see this happen. I mean, I hear about it afterwards, but I don't see it in action. And so let's take a look at this video real quickly and then we'll be right back.
I usually wait till you get here, Bill, to show your packages, but this one's pretty cool and I'm too anxious to wait and show you. So, here's the reveal. If I can get the cap off. Read how awesome this is. The Tale of the Hired Gun. I ever tell you fellas the story of the Billy Kid? Yep, sure did. How about Wild Bill Jean? You mean the marketing miss from San Diego? At least 100 times before. Yep, you can say that again. Look at the back. I'm kind of in love with this guy. Mad respect.
All right.
I love that. You know what I
Isn't that
think
great?
the best part is hearing her do the voices.
Yeah, no, she's doing the voices. Like I couldn't have hired a better actress to do this.
I
And the
know.
thing so when she flips over the piece and says, oh my God, I'm kind of falling in love with this guy, thinking this is the CEO's assistant talking about me asking for a meeting. This is great.
Well,
And
one of the things that I love in the book is you talk about that you don't view their assistant as the gatekeeper, like and that's how most salespeople view them, as the person they've got to get through. And you look at it as the person you are trying to get on your side. They're your advocate.
absolutely, they're absolutely critical to your mission. And yeah, in my book, I call them either VPs of access or talent scouts, and they're both. They're
Yeah.
some of the sharpest people you'll ever meet in any organization. I mean, think about it. If you're talking to the assistant to the CEO, that person reports to the CEO just like the rest of the C-suite does.
Right.
They're really, that's important.
Yeah.
And it's, she or he or she usually has a lot of control over the executive's schedule. So
Right.
yeah, they're critical. And when people, it drives me nuts when people say, hey, listen, how do I circumvent the assistant? You're nuts. You don't do that. Include them in your campaign.
So I do want to touch on some of the results that you've seen from these campaigns.
Yeah.
Because I think the results compared to the cost is one of the most, this is the reason why I recommend this frequently as a strategy that people use.
Well, I got my start by creating direct mail campaigns for magazine publishers, and they all used, I had this innovation that I brought to, I put cartoons on the outer envelopes and then personalized captions. So the cartoon was always about you. It was by this famous cartoonist. They were great. They were really, really effective things. But in the direct mail world, we used to hear that, well, first of all, we used to hear that 100% response rates were impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing was, if you get a 1% response, I mean, sometimes people say 1 to 2 or 3%, but if you get a 1% response rate to the campaign, that's pretty typical. You're doing really well. And I don't think there is such a number actually, because it was all over the place, but usually it was much less than that. But let's use 1% as a benchmark. With contact marketing, what I found was that actually my first campaign got a 100% response rate. So I couldn't talk about it with anyone that I knew. but I wanted to penetrate the magazine publishing industry, and so that meant reaching out to about 24 VPs of consumer marketing at Time Inc. and Time Warner and the Wall Street Journal and so on. These were not going to be easy people to reach, but I put together this little contact campaign, a little 8x10 print of a cartoon personalized to each recipient, put it in with a note saying, this is the device I just use to beat the controls for Rolling Stone and Bon Appetit, which I had just done. And we should put this to the test for your titles. And I got through to all of them. All of them agreed to meetings. We met, all of them became clients. And that came from a campaign that cost me about $100 and went to 24 people. And I got full penetration in a market really quickly. That was my first taste of it. But we've since found that it's actually not very unusual to have someone get either approaching 100% or getting 100% response to these campaigns. And in fact, some of them get more than 100% response, which is a crazy sort of heresy.
Yeah.
But they get it because people are they're so enamored with it that they show it around and other people start responding to it as well.
Yeah.
So like they want meetings also. And,
you get that really cool, big thing and you want to show it to other people. I mean, I showed it to my clients. I made a video. I was like, hey guys, remember I've told you about this book. I want you to see this in action. I showed it to all my clients. So
I love it. Well, thank you for doing it. That's why the battery's dead.
Yeah, I know it is, because I have showed it to probably 10 people. So
that's great. That's exactly what we want. And think about it. These reactions are to our outreach to ask. Well, my mind wasn't asking for a meeting. It was, I wanted to do something else with you, but usually it's to ask for a meeting. That's incredible, right? I mean, usually if you send an email or call into someone because you want to meet with them, that's not how it's received.
Right.
And so you want to change it so that it's not a cold call. It's a very warm call, even though you don't know each other yet. The other thing I wanted to share with you about metrics is, well, I just mentioned the highest response I've seen is over 300%. So it got a lot of pass around and people were responding to it more than the people who received the campaign saw it and responded to it. So, then there's ROI on campaigns, and the highest ROI, I almost want to ask you to guess, but I'm not going to do it. You'd never guess this number. But the highest ROI that I've found to a contact campaign now is 69,500,000%.
Wow.
That's a number that's impossible to understand. So I'll tell you the genesis of it. It was a $20 million result from a contact ad that was run in Facebook to reach buyers at Walmart. So it cost them $28 to generate $20 million.
That's crazy.
It's pretty amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, in our next video, we're splitting this up into 3 different segments. So in our next video, we're going to actually show you how you can create these types of campaigns and walk you through the process. So go ahead and click for the next video so you can finish watching how this goes. And if you're new to the channel, please make sure that you subscribe, hit the bell notification so you can get notified every time we release new content. We'll see you in just a minute.